In the history of hip-hop culture, 50 Cent has just carried out what may be the most ruthless, cunning, and deadly psychological attack. We have witnessed these two titans trade financial insults and legal threats for almost 20 years, music, but nobody was ready for the shocking film that recently slipped out of Beverly Hills. Music, a startling video of Rick Ross's longtime baby mama going on an unrestrained, multi-million-dollar luxury buying spree down Rodeo Drive, is currently becoming viral on the internet. Curtis, 50 Cent, Jackson was the man with the black Amex card, grinning at the photographers. This was a public display of pride intended to totally undermine Rick Ross's greatest boss character, not just a casual encounter. According to insider accounts, an insane Rick Ross is already gathering a legal army to file a major harassment case. The Maybach Music Camp's response has been immediate terror and utter rage. Ross is unaware, however, that this buying binge was really a pretext for a much more sinister, covert trap. You must watch through to the very end of this video because Ross's entire empire is going to collapse due to the secret deal that 50 Cent recently signed behind closed doors. You must go past the glam and fancy bags and delve into the poisonous, 15-year-long conflict between 50 Cent and Rick Ross in order to comprehend why this Beverly Hills shopping spree is being called a psychological execution. This is more than just a rap feud. It's a fierce rivalry with the goal of completely destroying the other man's reputation rather than winning a trophy. The origins of this hostility can be traced back to 2008, when Rick Ross was the aspirational newbie attempting to establish his own throne and 50 Cent was the untouchable monarch of the industry. It began as a subtle, contemptuous sneer at the BET Hip Hop Awards, but in a matter of months, it had developed into a full-fledged struggle for the soul of hip-hop's boss archetype. The tactical warfare expert 50 Cent did more than simply take on Ross's bars. He contested his DNA. He famously discovered records demonstrating that William Leonard Roberts II, the guy who created an empire by pretending to be a drug lord in Miami, had actually worked as a correctional officer. Officer Ricky became a persistent stain on Ross's reputation as music. 50 Cent hammered this narrative into the public psyche for years. However, the friction left the booth. Music. 50 Cent changed into something far more deadly, music, a master of financial humiliation, while Ross turned toward his largest boss identity, purchasing opulent properties and positioning himself as a billionaire-adjacent magnate. Recall 2009. Tia Kemp, the mother of Ross's son, was flown to New York by 50 Cent, who also provided her with a platform and successfully undermined Ross's claim to authenticity. Their co-parenting relationship was permanently damaged by this action, which also established a limit for 50's willingness to travel. He made it apparent that he didn't give a damn about the social ramifications, the expense of a legal battle, or the repercussions of a lawsuit. 50 Cent was winning as long as Rick Ross was losing. When 50 Cent declared bankruptcy in 2015, the music industry's stakes suddenly changed. Rick Ross made fun of 50 Cent on whatever platform he could find because he was never one to pass up the chance to hurt an adversary. He made fun of 50's property, quipped that he lived in a 2-bedroom apartment, and song constantly portrayed him as a faded celebrity clinging to the past. Ross thought he had triumphed at last. He believed that he had solidified his position, music, as the superior businessman by declaring 50 to be broke. However, Ross overlooked the fact that 50 Cent is a man who flourishes in the midst of a crisis. For the past few years, 50 Cent has been constructing his own covert, surgical retaliation while Ross has been busy constructing the promised land in Georgia and hosting multi-million-dollar auto shows. 10 years of preparation culminated in this Beverly Hills catastrophe. 50 Cent isn't just being petty when he takes Ross's baby mama shopping. He's finishing a cycle. He is demonstrating to the world that the man who said 50 music was broke is now powerless to stop 50 from using his own funds to support Ross's closest friends. Music, it's a masterclass in irony. Every orchestrated paparazzi leak, every flash of the credit card, and every fancy bag serves as a purposeful, intentional reminder to Rick Ross that I am always watching. I can affect your universe whenever I want, and I am always relevant. The industry is aware that this degree of conduct is abnormal. It's computed, it's chilly, and the music is really intimate. The reason the fans are watching is that they believe the rules of engagement have been irreversibly broken this time. This is no longer merely a beef. It's a complete siege. On a scorching afternoon in Beverly Hills, complete luxury and heartbreaking treachery came together. In search of the next big star sighting, Rodeo Drive was crowded with famous travelers and unrelenting paparazzi. However, nothing could have prepared the audience for the absolute mayhem that would break out at precisely 3 o'clock. Outside Hermes' special VIP entrance, a custom matte black luxury SUV with fully disguised windows smoothly drew up to the curb. With a razor-sharp, triumphant smile and a casual black designer sweatshirt, Curtis, 50 Cent Jackson, and music emerged into the California sun as the doors opened. However, when the passenger side door opened, everyone in the throng stopped breathing. Rick Ross's lifelong baby mama, the one with the deepest, most secret secrets of the Maybach music empire, emerged right next to him, laughing and decked out in high fashion. This was not a covert operation. It was a well-planned public display of pride. Music, leaked insider accounts from inside the boutique claim that 50 Cent took her through the exclusive lounges of Chanel, Louis Vuitton, and Gucci, telling the employees to pull out the most expensive and unique pieces. According to witnesses, 50 Cent nonchalantly handed over his black American Express Centurion card and spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on premium clothing, exotic leather handbags, and personalized jewelry without even looking at the price tag. He was funding more than simply a shopping binge. He purposefully stood close to the glass windows so that the paparazzi could record every second of this financial embarrassment. Short videos and grainy smartphone photographs, music flooded Instagram and TikTok in a matter of minutes, causing a digital earthquake that completely rocked the hip-hop business. Meanwhile, the environment inside Rick Ross's 109-room estate, the Promised Land, in Atlanta, Georgia, more than 2,000 miles away, descended into violent chaos. Ross was lounging at the pool when his manager hurried out with a phone showing the live Beverly Hills leaks, according to people close to the Maybach music camp. Music, the self-described biggest boss's response, was frightening and quick. Music, Rick Ross allegedly got up, yelled loudly, and smashed a high-end crystal champagne glass on the marble pillars of his estate in a fit of blind, pure rage. On a worldwide scale, the illusion of his total authority had just been destroyed. No number of rap bars can make up for the psychological impact of witnessing your most bitter past rival carelessly spend a fortune on your children's mother. As soon as hacked text messages, music, started circulating among industry insiders, the crisis turned into a private digital war. According to reports, Ross sent his ex a string of nasty, panicked text messages that said, "You have completely crossed the line. To ruin the legacy I established for this family, you're having an affair with the adversary. My attorneys will make sure you pay for this betrayal since it is an act of war. The bags will cost you everything, so enjoy them." Music, however, the reaction he got back was icy and unconcerned, indicating that she was no longer influenced by him. "You should have paid your bills instead of worrying about mine," was apparently her one awful response. Everyone thought this was simply another typical petty online trick by 50 Cent to trend for 48 hours as the internet erupted into a whirlwind of memes and crazy speculation. However, here is precisely when the story takes its first, most horrifying turn. This shopping trip in Beverly Hills wasn't merely a publicity ploy or a date. 50 Cent, music, bought her total loyalty in addition to fancy clothing, according to shocking internal records that were hacked from a prominent Hollywood law company. Rick Ross's baby mom formally inked a multi-million-dollar exclusive production deal with G-Unit Film and Television behind closed doors. The Illusion of the Boss is a big multi-part investigative documentary series that she has formally accepted to lead. The goal of the series is to remove Rick Ross's opulent facade entirely. It will include never-before-seen financial statements, confidential bank documents, information regarding his impending tax executions in 2025 and 2026, and the secret of who really owns his enormous mansion and renowned collection of expensive cars. Music, Ross's personal life wasn't just invaded by 50 Cent. The one individual who was aware of Ross's financial secrets was lawfully turned into a weapon by him. A historic scorched earth lawsuit against 50 Cent for targeted harassment, stalking, and corporate sabotage is currently being threatened by the Maybach Music Group legal team, which is in a state of complete panic as they hastily create a $50 million emergency injunction to stop the production. Ross is frantically attempting to prevent the collapse of his precarious empire by using the legal system. However, as the smoke clears from this first explosion, a second, more sinister story about the Beverly Hills shopping binge has just come to light. The entire hip-hop industry is wondering if Rick Ross will survive the next 24 hours after learning that 50 Cent's trap is already 10 steps ahead of Ross's attorneys. That Beverly Hills video ignited a digital inferno that went beyond simple trends. The whole hip-hop scene was rendered absolutely immobile. Music. In just 2 hours, the hashtag Rodeo Drive Revenge surged to the top of X's global trending list, garnering an astonishing 4 million music tweets in a single afternoon. Watching a rap thief was no longer the only thing on the internet. They were seeing a man's entire legacy being carried out in real time by a corporation. Hip-hop commentators and major streamers were going crazy on camera. In front of more than 100,000 yelling spectators, DJ Academics went live, banging his desk and declaring, "This is the end of the boss era." Not only did 50 Cent violate the line, but he completely erased it. While his baby mother is purchasing Rodeo Drive in June, Ross is confined to his own home and yelling at his attorneys, "Music." The elite in the industry's responses only served to fuel the raging fire. The sheer chutzpah of the maneuver left big artists utterly surprised, according to a leaked screenshot from a private hip-hop group conversation. Even Drake, who is currently embroiled in his own Cold War with Rick Ross, quietly contributed by giving the viral video of the buying spree a well-timed, sending the globe a silent but devastating message. Well-known hip-hop insider accounts started sharing quick summaries of the internal turmoil. Insiders claim MMG executives are frantically calling emergency meetings, said a widely shared tweet from @RapAlert 2026. Music, companies are retreating. When your fiercest competitor is openly funding your family's opulent lifestyle, you can't claim to be the ultimate financial genius. The optics are lethal. And that's precisely where the corporate fear started. This was a devastating incident for Rick Ross's business interests as well as a blow to his pride. High-level corporate sponsors and distribution partners who support Ross's franchise operations and luxury liquor enterprises reportedly started urgently calling his management team Music. The biggest boss image is a multi-million-dollar machine, but when the public's attitude changes from amazement to outright ridicule, the machine entirely stalls. According to insiders, 2 significant international firms are already examining their multi-million-dollar endorsement deals with Ross out of fear of becoming entangled in a poisonous, widely reported family court dispute. Ross's legal team's desperate threats of a $50 million lawsuit were like music, tossing a cup of water at a volcanic eruption, and his enterprise was losing credibility every second. However, a second, even more menacing and unexpected revelation from a highly classified forensic financial audit utterly upends this entire narrative just as the internet believed the drama had reached its pinnacle. You will be completely out of breath at this point. Everyone thought that 50 Cent was funding this enormous Beverly Hills shopping spree with his own television millions in order to show Music a point. However, the Black American Express Centurion card used on Rodeo Drive was not financed by 50 Cent's personal wealth, according to a shocking disclosure from an unidentified source inside a significant financial institution. The truth is a million times more perverted. According to the financial records, 50 Cent's account was legally connected to a covert corporate subsidiary that his legal team surreptitiously purchased last month. A division that oversees library licensing and back-end royalties for early Maybach Music Group products. Rick Ross's baby mom retained a dormant executive signature over those particular distribution pools due to an unnoticed predatory clause in an old business settlement he signed during his prior financial struggles. 50 Cent used her executive power to access those precise amounts after finding this loophole. 50 Cent didn't use any of his personal funds. In theory, Rick Ross paid for his own baby mama's multi-million-dollar shopping spree in Beverly Hills. Rick Ross used his own hard-earned music profits to pay for every single Gucci purse, Hermes buy, and diamond item purchased next to 50 Cent inside his Georgia estate. Rick Ross is apparently in complete uncommunicative shock due to the psychological agony of this knowledge. He wasn't simply made fun of. His family and his own legal errors caused him to become financially cannibalized. However, an even more horrifying countdown has just begun as this shocking news leaves. The entire music industry in a state of utter bewilderment. A third audio tape that has been leaked is currently being uploaded to a private server, posing a threat to reveal the precise exchange in which the final signature was given. The money is gone, the trap is closing, and a significant government authority is now entering the picture. When the banks discover that the boss no longer even controls his own royalties, what happens to the promised land? The next 48 hours will permanently alter the course of hip-hop history, so stay tuned. The entertainment industry was rocked by the discovery that Rick Ross had successfully funded his own public humiliation, which split the world's hip-hop community into two bitterly opposed factions. On the one hand, online discussion boards, Reddit, music, Threads, and TikTok comment sections have evolved into a tumultuous virtual arena honoring 50 Cent's horrifying strategic genius. Supporters claim that 50 Cent has attained god-tier status as a corporate assassin and are dubbing it the best chess move in pop culture history. Hundreds of thousands of people are retweeting viral messages every minute, noting that the sheer psychological brilliance needed to transform an adversary's hard-earned music royalties into opulent shopping bags for his ex-partner is completely unmatched. Online commentators are laughing, claiming that Ross spent his whole career bragging about being a financial genius only to be totally out-negotiated and out-trolled by a man who didn't even need to use any of his own money to destroy his rival's reputation. On the other hand, 50 Cent is facing an equally fierce backlash, with detractors denouncing the stunt as a heinous, almost unlawful transgression of human decency. Social media is being overrun by hundreds of thousands of Ross supporters and impartial hip-hop purists who describe the move as extremely poisonous, desperate, and risky. They contend that the unwritten moral bounds of hip-hop culture are utterly destroyed when a co-parent is weaponized and family relationships are purposefully brought into a long-standing grievance inside the music industry. A complete boycott of 50 Cent's future television show is being demanded by aggressive remarks that characterize him as an obsessed bully who preys on weak family structures instead of resolving his conflicts amicably in a recording studio. Give it some thought. Is there nothing sacred in this field anymore? Or is the family of an artist merely cheap collateral damage for online attention? The digital conflict is getting so out of hand that prominent cultural observers are publicly voicing concern that the two competing security details may resort to physical retaliation in the real world as a result of this small-scale conflict. Major label executives and well-known entertainment attorneys are in a state of complete, unabated terror within the corporate music industry, fearing that identical, unnoticed loophole clauses may exist in their own archives. Record label executives from New York to Los Angeles are allegedly seeking urgent, emergency forensic checks of their own historical catalog distribution contracts. The legal basis of music ownership has been entirely upended by 50 Music Cent's successful weaponization of a dormant executive signature right. Elite moguls are secretly referring to it as a dangerous precedent that permanently alters the norms of celebrity conflict behind closed doors. There are rising rumors that a number of prominent rap artists have contacted Ross in private, pleading with him to be quiet and handle the matter solely through federal courts before the public ridicule totally ruins his business value. In the meantime, Maybach Music Group's actual financial consequences are becoming disastrous. Music, as key distribution channels apparently halt current marketing initiatives to prevent toxic linkage, brand trust in Ross's premium